Hare Krishna, Dandatnam Mataji. Thank you so much, Mother.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna, my name is Aishwarya. So I will be taking this Saturday and next Saturday in the place of Bhumika Mataji. I really seek all of your blessings so that the class will go well. And thank you so much, Ashish Prabhuji, for giving me this opportunity to take this class. So we will start with the opening prayers today. ॐ अज्ञानातिमिरान्तस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादां सहगणा ललिता श्री विशाखामृतांश हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरे प्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पितरूपस्य कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, everyone. So today we'll be starting with our Bhagavad Gita class. I'm just going to go according to my pace, and if there's any kind of doubts in anything, I will be answering it through the session. So can anyone tell what did Mataji take last class? What was the context? And what were the subjects that were discussed?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. So Bhumika Mataji had taken shloka number 2.68 last week.
Yeah. Last week, till 68 completed, Mataji.
Yes. Can anyone say what was the summary of the shloka number 68? What was taught? What was shloka 68 about? Any context? It was about Sthita Prajna, if I'm not wrong, right? How a person is situated in the mode of Sthita Prajna. So, so we will be continuing from that. So we will be taking shloka number 2.69 today. Yeah. So basically the last part of the second chapter deals with the qualities of Sthita Prajna and how a Nishkama Karma Yogi leads their life. So Rajalakshmi Mataji, can you just recite the shloka? And everyone can repeat with her.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
2.69. Ya Nisha Sarvabhutanam.
Ya Nisha Sarvabhutanam.
Tasyam Jagrati Sanyami.
Tasyam Jagrati Samyani.
Yasyam Jagrati Bhutani.
Yasyam Jagrati Bhutani.
Sa Nisha Pashyato Munehe.
Sa Nisha Pashyato Mune. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Who wants to read the translation and the purport? Yeah, Hema Mataji, yes.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. What is night? Is the time of awakening for the self-cultivation. All beings is the night for the introspective.
Hare Krishna. 1 second, Mataji. I'll just go to the purport. Yeah, you can also read the purport.
Hare Krishna.
Can you see the?
There are two classes of and the other is introspective and awake to the cultivation of self-realization. Activities of the introspective stages are
I'm sorry, Mataji, your voice is not audible clearly. Can you come a bit nearer to the mic if possible?
Is it clear now, Mataji?
Can
Hello?
anyone? Yeah, Mataji, now it's better.
There is a problem with my network, Mataji. I'm sorry, I think.
No worries, no worries. Anyone else would like to read? Sindhu Mataji? Oh, no, someone else. Yeah, Padma. Yes, Mataji. Padma Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
There are of intelligent men. One is intelligent in material activities for sense gratification, and the other is irrespective of and awake to the cultivation of self-realization. Activities of the introspective age or thoughtful men are night for persons materially absorbed. Materialistic persons remain asleep in such a night due to their ignorance of self-realization. The introspective sage remains alert in the night of the materialistic men. The sage feels transcendental pressure in the gradual advancement of spiritual culture, whereas the man in materialist activities, being asleep to self-realization, dreams of varieties of sense pressure, feeling sometimes happy and sometimes distressed in his sleeping condition. The introspective man is always indifferent to materialistic happiness and distress. He goes on with his self-realization activities absorbed by materialized nature.
Yeah, undisturbed by material reactions. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. So, does anyone know what is the state of Sthita Prajna? What does Sthita Prajna mean?
Mataji, I'll just try. One who is steady in both distress and happiness.
Yes, Mataji. And also, Suma Mataji has raised her hand.
Yes, Mataji. In both the cases, in the distress and in the happiness, his state of mind will be the same, Mataji. Undisturbed.
Exactly. So, yeah, correct, Mataji. So, always at the pace and they are not shaken, though it can be happiness or distress, they're always sthita, means balanced throughout their life. So there are few qualities of a sthita prajna person. So first thing is they're desireless, yeah, and they're always there's always stability in their life. Doesn't matter even if the life gives them the most happiness or the most distress or the most difficulty, they're always stable in their life, emotionally and mentally. The second thing is they have a full control over their material desires and whatever comes in their life. And fifth one is they have tranquility throughout. And the most important is they have this bhava of serving the Lord always. And whatever the Lord desires is their desire. So that is the kind of the qualities that the Sthita Prajna person has. So in this particular verse, we see that the topic of this verse is that there is difference between a self-realized person and a person who is not self-realized. So the analogy is given of a night. So what is night for all beings is the time of awakening for the self-control, and the time of awakening for all beings is the night for the introspective sage. So this kind of gives us two kinds of people are situated. One is a person in Sthita Prajna intelligence, and the other one is in material intelligence. So Sthita Prajna person is actually focused on their soul, and they want to attain the platform of Godhead. Whereas a person who is in material intelligence, they don't they don't even want to be self-realized. All they want to do is wake up, do their routine, and go back to their usual routine. So hence, Lord Krishna gives a statement where he says that a person who is awake in the morning, he is Sthita Prajna. He does his duty, like how Srila Prabhupada has designed this beautiful morning program for us, where we wake up at 3:30, we attend Mangalarati, and we'll do all this like listening to Bhagavatam lecture and chanting. So this is a person who's situated in Sthita Prajna stage. Whereas a person who is in this materialistic world, they might sleep at this time, they might sleep at 2:33. So that is why this beautiful translation is given, where a night for all beings is the time of awakening, and what is the awakening time for us is the night for the people who have this material intelligence. And also Prabhupada says that all the morning programs should be followed because everyone's duty will be done at night. So everyone who wakes up at Brahma Muhurta, attends Mangalarati, does their chanting, listens to Bhagavatam, your sadhana is done in the morning itself by 9 a.m. Whereas a materialist person, maybe the day starts at 9 a.m. So Prabhupada has made this ISKCON rules such a way that it doesn't hinder with our material activities. So after 9, we all go to work and we do our material things. And throughout our day also, we can keep doing our sadhana. So this is the way how it is described of a Sthita Prajna person who is situated in Sthita Prajna intelligence. So the next shloka will go to, which is 2 points. Rajalakshmi Mataji, Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण अपूर्यमाणाम् अचलं प्रतिष्ठं समुद्रमाप प्रविशन्ति यद्वत् तद्वत्कामां यं प्रविशन्ति सर्वे स शान्तिमाप्नोति न कामकामी. हरे कृष्ण.
Hare Krishna. Who wants to read the translation?
Hare Krishna Mataji. May I?
Yes, Mataji, you can. Yeah, please.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Translation by Sri Prabhupada. Jai Sri Guru Prabhupada. A person who is not disturbed by the incessant flow of desires that enter like rivers into the ocean, which is ever being filled up but is always still, can alone achieve peace, and not the man who strives to satisfy such desires. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah, Mataji. I'll just explain this, Mataji, and you can read the purport as well, yeah?
Okay, Mataji.
So in the last bit, it says, not a man who strives to satisfy such desires. So there are 3 types of people who are apart from Sthita Prajna people. There are 3 types of people who are called Bhukti, Mukti, and Siddhi. So the first type of people are basically fruitive workers. So they work for some kind of result. Next is Mukti. So they come under the category of salvation, where they want to attain Brahma Jyoti. And the last one is Siddhis, who are called yogis, who worship the God, but they're like impersonalists. So hence these are the 3 stages, and these 3 stages can never want to reach the platform of peace. Whereas a Sthita Prajna person, he leads, like all the path he leads, all the life he is dedicated so that he can attain the real peace. And the real peace is achieving Krishna consciousness. And there are few things that can be done to achieve Krishna consciousness. Basically, one person, like in the last shloka we saw, right? Waking up at Brahma Muhurta, following the morning programs. And this kind of increases the taste of oneself. So an analogy is given over here of river which enters into the ocean. So when the river enters into the ocean, there is no kind of disturbance the ocean faces. Whereas if we have a small or like a heavy rainfall that happens in an area, the well is filled, the river overflows and we have flooding. And even during drought, the whole river kind of sinks up. So this kind of represents a person who is in materialistic intelligence. So they can once have their mind dried up, and in some situations it can overflow. Whereas an ocean is compared to a Sthita Prajna person, where it remains calm, doesn't matter even if it pours heavily, the rain, even if the rain is heavy, the ocean still stays calm. Yeah, so this is the first. Mataji, you can continue with the purport.
Sure, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Can you see the purport, Mataji, or should I enlarge?
No, I have book, Mataji. I'll read it.
Okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Translation. No, purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Although the vast ocean is always filled with water, it is always, especially during the rainy season, being filled with much more water. But the ocean remains the same, steady. It is not agitated, nor does it cross beyond the limit of its brink. That is also true of a person fixed in Krishna consciousness. As long as one has the material body, the demands of the body for sense gratification will continue. The devotee, however, is not disturbed by such desires because of his fullness. A Krishna conscious man is not in need of anything because of Lord fulfills all his material necessities. Therefore, he is like the ocean, always full in himself. Desires may come to him like the waters of the river that flow into the ocean, but he is steady in his activities, and he is not even slightly disturbed by desires for sense gratification. That is the proof of a Krishna conscious man. One who has lost all inclinations for material sense gratification, although the desires are present, because he remains satisfied in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, he can remain steady like the ocean and therefore enjoy full peace. Others, who fulfill desires even up to the limit of liberation, What to speak of material success? Never attain peace. The fruity workers, the salvationists, and also the yogis who are after mystic paths are all unhappy because of unfulfilled desires. But the person in Krishna consciousness is happy in the service of the Lord and he has no desires to be fulfilled. In fact, he does not even desire liberation from the so-called material bondage. The devotees of Krishna have no material desires and therefore they are in perfect peace. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita, in the story, they say that a person, the Lord wishes that I hope I am born again in this material world. But the only condition is I want to be born as a devotee, even if it is in the house of a devotee. And even if I'm born as an ant, I want to be born in the house of a devotee so that I can get stamped by him. So this is the kind of devotion that a Sthita Prajna person will actually have, because even like they don't care for heavenly planets or for Naraka or Swarga or even Vaikuntha or Goloka. All they desire is to perform devotional service to the Lord again and again and again. So over here we see the analogy of the ocean, of the river like mixing into the ocean. And also there are some kind of qualities that a Krishna conscious person will have, because they have firm faith on the Lord. So they believe that the Lord will fulfill all their wishes, all wishes which are not material, which will lead them to perform devotional service better and which improves their bhakti. And second thing is they lose the taste for all kind of sense gratifications. So even when we come into Krishna consciousness, initially we all, like some of us used to consume meat, some of us used to take onion, garlic, drink coffee, tea, but eventually we develop higher taste where we forget all these kind of things and we gradually progress in Krishna consciousness. And the last one is on the contrary, like the people who are in materialistic intelligence, where they don't believe in God or they're impersonalist, they always keep falling down as the day progresses. So that is the like the link between shloka number 29 and 17, that the Sthita Prajna person, doesn't matter what it is, good, bad, happiness, distress, wealth, loss, anything, even if they're rich and poor, they always are steady. And over here we can see that Krishna will create a bubble for us. So though all the desires and all distractions might come in, we will still stay in the state of Sthita Prajna because of the kind of sadhana we are doing and the kind of steadiness a Sthita Prajna person will have. It is very hard to reach that stage, but once we reached, we gradually have that taste and we never come back. Hare Krishna, Rajalakshmi Mataji. We can go on to the next one. Hare Krishna.
विहाय कामान्य सर्वान् पुंश्चरति निःस्पृहः निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः स शान्तिम् अधिगच्छति. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Nandini Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Mataji, do you want to read the translation? Yes.
Okay, I'll do the translation now. Hare Krishna. A person who has given up all desires for sense gratification, who lives free from desires, who has given up all sense of proprietorship and is devoid of false ego, he alone can attain the real peace. What about perfect Mataji?
I'll just explain Kunjo Mataji and then we can read the...
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Okay. So basically 2.71, the subject topic of this is what is actual desireness? Like there's no desire at all. But does this kind of feeling actually exist? Does a person not have desires at all? In Krishna says that there is no way a person doesn't have any desires, but there's one way we can come out of this, to divert the desire. So basically he says that whatever your desire is, make sure it is my desire. So Krishna says that whatever we desire should be the desire of Krishna. So what does Krishna desire for all of us? Can anyone say? What is Krishna's desire?
Go back to God.
Yeah, correct. So he wants us to come back to him. Yeah, correct. Because he is the seed-giving father. He eventually wants, like we all are his children. So he wants all of us to come and reunite with him. So he says, whatever is my desire, if you make it that your desire, then you will come. It is very easy for you to come to me. Mataji, can you continue reading the purport?
Yes, Mataji. Purport. To become desireless means not to desire anything for sense gratification. In other words, desire for becoming Krishna conscious is actually desirelessness. To understand one's actual position as the eternal servitor of Krishna without falsely claiming this material body to be oneself and without falsely claiming proprietorship over anything in the world is the perfect stage of Krishna consciousness. One who is situated in this perfect stage knows that because Krishna is the proprietor of everything, everything must be used for the satisfaction of Krishna. Arjuna did not want to fight for his own sense satisfaction. But when he became fully Krishna conscious, he fought because Krishna wanted him to fight. For himself, there was no desire to fight. But for Krishna, the same Arjuna fought to his best ability. Real desirelessness is desire for the satisfaction of Krishna, not an artificial attempt to abolish the desires. The living entity cannot be desireless or senseless, but he does have to change the quality of the desires. A materially desireless person certainly knows that everything belongs for Krishna. Sarvasya sarvasyam idam sarvam, and therefore he does not falsely claim proprietorship over anything. This transcendental knowledge is based on the self-realization, namely knowing perfectly well that every living entity is an eternal part and parcel of Krishna in spiritual identity, and that the eternal position of the living entity is therefore never on the level of Krishna or greater than him. This is understanding of Krishna consciousness is the basic principle of real peace. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. So in this verse, Krishna points out 4 things that will lead to like ultimate peace. First thing is detachment from material desires. Second thing is no greed, no ego. And the final thing is proprietorship. Anyone comes to this world, we are basically renting out the land we live, the house we live. Eventually, we have to go back. So nothing is our own. So we see a lot of people saying, this is my land, this is my house. It's just a temporary place. So we have just come here as guests. So there's one day we are going to check out of this thing. So we all have to practice this, detachment from this world from the very beginning. So once we come into Krishna consciousness, the first thing we have to do is detach ourselves from anything that is materially influencing us in our bhakti and is making us maybe I am superior. So we have to come out of that stage and we have to think Krishna is the supreme personality. Everything comes from him, even from the clothes we wear, from the house we live to the land, everything, even the air we breathe, everything comes from Krishna. So in this thing, Krishna tells Arjuna to detach himself from all this. Like how Mataji has read, Krishna says, he instructs Arjuna to fight. Yeah, Arjuna is not willing to fight. So we have, that is the real desirelessness. It's not like Arjuna desires to fight, but because as Krishna has instructed him to do so, he fights. So what is the perfect stage of being situated in Krishna consciousness is basically these 4 things. We have to be materially detached. We have to have no greed, no false ego, and we have to have no proprietorship over what we own and everything. So this is an example. And there's also a beautiful story of King Priyavarta. Does anyone know Maharaja Priyavarta? Or the kind of sadhana he had practiced during his life. Have you ever heard Maharaja Priyavarta?
He's the son of Swayambhuva Manu, Mataji.
Correct. Yes, Mataji. So yeah, in Bhagavatam, in Canto 5, Chapter 1, there's a huge description. The whole chapter talks about actually Maharaja Priyavarta. Like Mataji has said, he is the son of Manu. Yeah. So he was first totally out of all this material attachments and everything. But due to the order of Lord Brahma, Indra and Narayana, he had to take up the kingdom that was left behind by his father Manu. So by doing so, he was still detached, but he was doing his dharma. So I would like to ask all of you a question. If one becomes detached, can they become attached again?
Yes, Mataji, Maya is strong.
Yeah, Maya is strong. But actually in this king's situation, he's actually a bit contradictory. Okay, he was completely detached, but he doesn't get attached. Okay, he just performs his Swadharma or Varnashrama Dharma. I think all of you know the different Varanas, right? We have Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. So as a king, like Arjuna is, okay, he was a Kshatriya and his duty was to fight and also protect his kingdom and his people. So he was doing his Dharma, which is his Swadharma. But at the same time, he was doing his Sanatana Dharma, which is basically maintaining the religious principles, doing his sadhana every day. So he is a very great king born of Manu, who's said to have detached, but he never became attached, though he was a king of the empire. And at the end of his life, he had given all his duties to his sons, and he again took up the renounced order of life, and he again became completely detached from everything. So this example tells us that we can perform our, swadharma and still do Sanatana Dharma. So there's always a balance. There is also a Gita called the Butcher's Gita. Yeah. In that, the butcher is basically a person who cuts meat. Yeah. So he, in the whole morning, he'll be doing his duty as cutting meat and selling everything. But in the afternoon, yeah, he comes home and he does his duty because his parents are blind. Yeah. So he was forced to get on this job of meat cutting. But at the end, he comes and he preaches Bhagavad Gita. So do you think it's wrong? It's wrong for a meat cutter who sells meat to do this work and evening come and preach this to people. Do you think this kind of activity is wrong? Rion is so silent.
No,
Do you
Mataji.
think no, it's not, exactly, it's not wrong because he's doing his Swadharma. But at the same time, he's doing Sanatana Dharma. Like his life forces him to be a butcher, whereas he's put in a state where he's cutting meat because of his condition. But that is the fate that is given to him. But at the same time, no one restricted him from following the Sanatana Dharma, which is like religion principles, studying about Gita, knowing everything. But he's just forced to put in such a situation. This is called Karma Yoga. So because of the karma we had done in our previous life, we are put in such a situation in our life that we have to perform our, varnashrama duties. Like for the Kshatriya, it's killing. So similarly, so this is the essence of this purport. So whatever it is, we have to stay true to our dharma and we have to balance both Swadharma and Sanatana Dharma. Any doubts so far? Or is it all okay and clear?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah, Uma Devi Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Basically, our real home is with Krishna. Allide namma mane, illi bande summane. I hope you can understand Kannada.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it is not real one, what we are staying now. So that is the real house for us, home for us with Krishna. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Correct. So this is just a reflection, right? They say that this material world is just a reflection and it's dukkhalayam ashasvatam. So till we stay in this world, it's always sorrows and everything. And it's just a reflection of the spiritual sky. So whatever is happening here is not, it's not like Goloka is 10,000 millions of times more beautiful and everything. So whatever here, we have to escape this prison house. That's what they say. And the warden of this house is Maya Devi. So we have to try coming out of this as soon as possible. Also, sometimes in our life, we're not supposed to put all the blame on Maya also. There's some types of self-control that we can do. For example, the example of this Maharaj is given. His name is Priyavarta. Though he was forced to take up the kingdom, in the place of his father Manu, he still didn't attach himself to the kingdom or the money or the prosperity. He still stayed detached from it because he was very sincere with his sadhana. So hence this teaches us to be like sthita prajna in life. It is hard to achieve, but gradually one can develop to that stage slowly with practice and with sadhana.
Mataji, Priyavarta, is it? What is the past time? Can you please tell
Yes,
the name?
Mataji, Priyavarta. His name is.
Is there in which canto?
Fifth canto, Mataji. Fifth canto, first chapter.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Yes, Rajalakshmi Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. You can read this, Mataji.
Keshabrahmi स्थितिः पार्थ नयनां प्राप्य विमुह्यति स्थित्वा स्याम् अन्तकालेऽपि ब्रह्मनिर्वाणं रिच्छति. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Who wants to read the translation and the purport?
Can I, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji. Vijayam Mataji, Hare Krishna. Yes.
Translation by Prabhupada. This is the way of spiritual and godly life after attaining which a man is not bewildered. If one is thus situated even in the hour of death, one can enter into the kingdom of God.
Hare Krishna. I'll just explain this, Mataji, and then we can go to the purport. Isha over here means thus. So Krishna is trying to conclude this final chapter of Bhagavad Gita by saying that in 70 and 71st verse, he was talking about Shanti. How can one attain the real peace? How can one attain that one missing point of life, which is basically Krishna? How can one attain that real peace? And he also continues saying Brahma Sthiti. Brahma Sthiti is spiritual, like that person is basically spiritually situated. Two types of a person being spiritually situated. First thing is them just not being bewildered or not being materially attached. The second thing is called antakale. This is the first time this antakale, which means the end of the life, is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. So this is the stage where one will attain liberation. And at that time, they are in full consciousness, and hence they will go and attain Vaikuntha Loka or Goloka Vrindavan. And there are few examples of this stage. Can anyone give those examples? Any example of any devotee we know who has attained this kind of stage, where at the end of the death they had remembered Krishna or Vishnu?
Ajamila.
Yeah,
Bhish-
Ajamila.
Bhishma
Ajamila.
One
Pitamaha.
person who didn't remember Krishna and remembered someone else.
Bharat Maharaj.
Yeah, Bharat Maharaj. Yeah. So basically, Bhima and Ajamila and all of them had remembered Krishna at the end of their life. Yeah. So it can also be for a split of second or even for millions in years. If you see Bharat Maharaj example, yeah, he had left all his kingdom, his wife and his children, everything he left, and he came to the ashrama to meditate. It was a very long process for him, but still he got attached to a deer. So hence he lost, like even at the end of his life, he thought about a deer. So in the next life, he was born as a deer. And after the other life, he again was given an opportunity to be one as a devotee, and then he performed his sadhana and he got liberation. But that took like a lot of years. But whereas we take Ajamila situation, yeah, though he was such a sinner, like he was initially a Brahmin who got attracted to a prostitute, and later he had so many sons with her. And just in the end of his life, just because his son, okay, his name was Narayana, and he was so dear to him, he called him. Just because he took the name of Narayana, he was given a second chance. So hence, in the very same lifetime, he got to go back to Godhead. So there are two extreme situations we can take. One person can achieve like Brahman or even like Vaikuntha Loka in a split of second, which Prabhupada says. Prabhupada says you just need 1 second to go to Goloka Vrindavan. So that 1 second, it's very hard to achieve. So that's why we keep chanting 60 rounds every day. That is why it's recommended, so that at least in the end of life, when we keep saying Hare Krishna, maybe at the end of the life, maybe at 1 second, that split of second, we might at least say Hare Krishna. And even if not, Prabhupada has like introduced so many other things that it can, avoid us to go to Naraka. For example, the Kanti Mala we wear, yeah? We wear Tulasi Kanti Mala so that Yamaraj and his Duta stay away from us. Second thing, we wear Vaishnava tilak all over our body so that the smell of the Chandan will actually, it kind of disgusts the, the Dutas of Yamaraja. So these kind of things are there. That's why we chant in the Tulasi Mala, so that whatever we chant is 1,000 times into the result that we normally chant. If you chant 16 rounds, if you chant in front of Tulsamma, then it is like 1,000 times the same result. So hence all of these are the norms that we go through. Vijaya Mataji, you can read the purport as well and we'll explain further.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
One can attain personal consciousness.
Yes, Mataji.
Vijaya
One
Mataji,
minute.
just 1 second. Umadevi Mataji, yes.
Mataji, Ajamila was not intended to call Lord, but still he said Narayana and he was blessed. What about us, Mataji? We without knowing, we do so many sins, so many mistakes every day, every second we do. So what about us? We will get those sins for us. It will be with us, I think.
It will be with us, Mataji. I mean, we can't guarantee that even after saying so much and doing so much sadhana, we will reach Krishna because of our past karma and everything. But what normally they say is, even in Ramayana, Valmiki, what he says is, they write something called Ramalikit, right? I think all of you are very familiar with it.
Yes.
We write this not because it is something that is mandatory to do, or if we are not doing Hare Krishna just because it's mandatory. So if you're taking Lord's name so many times in a day, even in the split of a second, maybe, we can take Hare Krishna in the end. For example, like before chanting Hare Krishna, personally for me, I never used to say Lord's name. Now, every time I wake up, I sit down, I'm like, oh Krishna. We say this, we we get
Yes,
that
yes.
name. Yeah. Just like this, maybe maybe saying this name so many times, we can end up saying the name in the in the verge of death. At least if we get a second chance, or at least if you are born as an elevated devotee in the next life, they say, right,
Yes.
if you wherever you leave, you will again like pause from there in your next life. Yeah. So whatever we do, nothing is going to get wasted, Mataji. For example, if we are stopping in this point of life in bhakti, yeah, we will continue
Yes.
from the same point in the next life. So
Yes,
nothing,
Mataji.
whatever we've studied in material education is like, again, if you take birth, you have to again study from kindergarten, pre-KG 1, 2, 3 till 10. But spiritual is not like that. Your memory inside, it remembers everything. I've also heard a lot of cases where people remember, like, when they're reading shlokas, they have this familiarity with the shlokas, that they have heard it somewhere, they have
Yes, yes,
they maybe
Mataji.
encountered this somewhere. So some kind of memory is getting activated for us.
Correct.
So this is a
Correct.
proof, and we see kids, right? They're coming into Krishna consciousness very early, which means that they are just like left from, they're just resuming from where they left before. So yeah, Mataji. So that is the guarantee. Srila Prabhupada says, right? You surrender on to Krishna, he will take
Yes,
you. It just
Mataji.
take a split of second. It is tough, but we can, Mataji. It's called Nirvanam, right?
So more
That,
than our sins, we have to chant Lord's name.
yeah, Mataji. Anyway, you
Yes,
can do it
that is the only
Likitam.
way, I think.
That is the only way. In Kali
Yes,
Yuga, that
without
is
knowing,
the
we sometimes we commit so many mistakes, so many things. So afterwards, we will come to know, and we feel very bad. So I should not have said like that. I should not have done like that.
yeah.
So what is the remedy? So the only remedy is chanting His name, Lord's name.
Yeah, but because even as we walk, or even in the mode of transport we use, right, on the road, we're killing millions of species, right?
Yes,
Imagine
yes,
ants, mosquitoes, and whatsoever. We're doing a lot of things. So,
yes.
like, there is no way there's end to our karma, because all of this is also part of our karma kanda. Yeah. So the only way we achieve this mukti is like an example, following Ekadasi. So that
Yes,
is the
yes,
way we
yes,
completely devote ourselves, follow the vrat.
yes.
Also like chanting Hare Krishna, reading Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is Krishna himself. He is the
Oh,
Bhagavatam
yes,
is the literary incarnate. Yeah, it's Krishna himself. So by reading all this, by following our gurus, that's why we take up initiation, so that the guru takes our karma. So that's the process of initiation ceremony. When we get initiated, the guru takes our karma, and he gives us a new birth. That's why we get a new name also, right? We get an
yes,
initiated name. So
yes,
that is giving us a second chance, like Ajamila, right? Automatically. So now we're
yes,
starting with zero count. So let's like use maximum of it. So we have so many sources, so many things. We have to just utilize them well, Mataji.
yes,
That's my
Mataji.
yeah.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you.
No worries,
Thanks for-
Mataji. Hare Krishna. Vijay Mataji, you can read the purport.
Purport. One can attain Krishna consciousness or divine life at once within a second, or one may not attain such a state of life even after millions of births. It is only a matter of understanding and accepting the fact. Katwang Maharaja attained the state of life just a few minutes before death by surrendering unto Krishna. Nirvana means ending the process of materialistic life. According to the Buddhist philosophy, there is only void after completion of this material life, but Bhagavad Gita teaches directly. Actual life begins
Differently.
after completion.
Bhagavad Gita teaches differently.
Yes, teaches differently. Actual life begins after completion of this material life. For the gross materialistic, it is sufficient to know that one has to end this materialistic life way of life. But for persons who are spiritually advanced, there is another life after this materialistic life. Before ending this life, if one fortunately becomes Krishna conscious, he at once attains the stage of Brahma Nirvana. There is no difference between the kingdom of God and the devotional service of the Lord. Since both of them are on the absolute plane, to be engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord is to have attained the spiritual kingdom. In the material world, there can activities of sense gratification, whereas in the spiritual world, there are activities of Krishna consciousness. Attainment of Krishna consciousness, even during this life, is immediate attainment of Brahman, and one who is situated in the Krishna consciousness has certainly already entered into the kingdom of God.
Mataji, just a second, I'll explain this, yeah? So over here we can see the best example of all the demigods like Brahma, Indra, and all of them. So in the Krishna book, there is a chapter which says that Brahma, all he wishes is to be born as at least a grass in Vrijabhumi. So that is the significance of a human life. So all the demigods do yagas and yagnas, and they wish, what they wish is to be born as human in this world when God is present, when Krishna is present. Yeah. So that is the most significance. We get this human life in tens and thousands of years. And especially we get it in a devotee's life is very, very special. And also coming together and, having devotee association, talking about God, like regularly listening to Bhagavatam or Shravanam, it's a very, very rare opportunity and all of us should use it. So that's why over here it says there's no difference between like Krishna and attaining his loka, like the spiritual kingdom. It's the same. Taking Krishna's name and going to the spiritual kingdom is the same. So if we are in that Sthita Prajna state, with the utmost, with no desire, we concentrate and we meditate on Krishna, we'll attain that peace. And in that peace, we'll actually feel the presence of Krishna in us. A lot of our Maharajas, they say, Bhanuswami Maharaj, Radhanand Swami Maharaj have said, even Srila Prabhupada has said that they have seen Krishna. It's just that we have to close our eyes and we have to be in such a meditative state to be able to see him in the form. So even Srila Prabhupada says in his lectures that he's seen Goloka. He's seen Krishna in his eternal form. He also points at a picture where he says that this is how Krishna looks in real. So that is the platform that a Sthita Prajna person will achieve. Yes, Mataji, you can continue, Vijaya Mataji.
Brahman is just the opposite of matter. Therefore, Brahmic Sthiti means not on the platform of material activities. Devotional service of the Lord, accepting in the Bhagavad Gita as the liberator stage, Saguna Samati Teta Brahma Bhutaya Kalpate. Therefore, Brahmic Sthiti is liberated from material bondage. Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur has summarized the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita as being the contents of the whole text. In the Bhagavad Gita, the subject matter are Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. In the second chapter, Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga have been clearly discussed, but a glimpse of Bhakti Yoga has also been given as the contents of the complete text. Hare Krishna.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. Yeah, so we like how Mataji has said, so Sri Bhakti Vinoda Thakura had actually said that this particular chapter is basically the contents of the whole Gita. It's the summary of the whole Gita, and it deals with three important subject matters, which is Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, in main focus, and a bits of Bhakti Yoga, because we see the example of King Ambrisha, right? How many of you know the different types of way he had engaged himself in devotional service, King Ambrisha?
All 9, Mataji.
All 9, correct.
All
Can
9.
anyone name
Yes.
the 9 of them?
Yes.
He engaged his legs in going to the temple of the Lord.
Padasmaranam, Archana Mandam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Arti Nivedana.
Nivedam, correct. These are the 9 steps of devotional service. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnuhu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sankyam, Atma Nivedanam. Yes, sir. How did he engage? Like Sindhu Mataji was saying, he used his legs to go to the different kinds of dhams or kshetras. And then what are the other limbs he used?
His nose to smell the tulasi leaf or flowers of the Lord.
Flowers, yeah, correct.
Yeah, flowers
Mouth,
of the Lord.
Mouth to?
Mouth to
Prasadam and
yeah. To taste prasadam.
Prasad. Hands to clean the temple of the Lord.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
or to offer puja.
And then the body to dance and embrace fellow devotees. Like, when we dance in the temple, right, we see everyone dancing in the temple. So touching other devotees and dancing was a means of touch. Yeah, next one.
And also for prostitutes, Mataji.
Mataji, sorry?
And also for offering Dandavat.
Yeah, correct. Also to offer Dandavat. Yeah, correct. And then
and eyes to see the lotus face.
Yeah, correct. Eyes to see the lotus face. And head to actually offer obeisances.
Go down.
Yeah, so we're engaging all our body parts, So this is a glimpse of Bhakti Yoga. That's why it's a very important glimpse. Yeah, we see all kinds of activities covered over here, and also the shloka from Bhagavatam that Vijaya Mataji had recited. So this is the whole content of the Gita: Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and the most beautiful glimpse of Bhakti Yoga. So only by doing this, even if it's a few minutes of Bhakti, or even if it's a million years of Bhakti, yeah, at the time, if it is the right time, and if you can chant the Hare Krishna mantra or remember Krishna at the end of your life, that is the best thing one can do. So even if we see the people who are in Krishna consciousness, when we see a person at the time of death, they put a tulasi leaf on the mouth. Example, if they are in such a state where they cannot speak, what if they are in a place where they cannot speak of Krishna, or they can't take the word of Krishna, they'll put tulasi leaf on their mouth. And then they kind of try to give lectures, like through years, they'll make them, like people around them will chant Hare Krishna, though they are not able to chant. So these are few kind of things that we do. So some people can say at the end of the life, if what I can't take the name of Krishna. That's why we need to have devotee association. That's why we make our family also Krishna consciousness by giving them prasadam. So that at least in one point of life, they can help us maybe to take the Lord's name consciously or unconsciously. Like how Ajamila unconsciously took, his son's name Narayana. It was not his intention. Just because he loved him so much, he took his name. That's why in olden days, everyone used to give us the names of gods, like Vishnu's name, Lakshmi's name, everyone. But nowadays, it's kind of reducing. But that is the reason behind it. Yeah. So we will just conclude what we have done so far in the chapter 2. Can anyone say what were the topics that we had discussed throughout the chapter 2?
Hare Krishna Mataji, 1 second.
Yes, Mataji. Who is it?
Yes, Kirti
Yes, Mataji.
Kulashekaran says, at the time of death, if we get Vata, Pitta, Kapha, all this, if it troubles us, so if we continuously chant in our whole life, he will only come and give us darshan at the time of leaving this world.
True, Mataji.
And
That is also true.
He did this for Bhishma Maharaj, Bhishma Pitamaha.
Correct.
So
See, even at the end of his life, he could decide, the time when he wanted to die, right?
Yes.
He sang Vishnu Sahasranamam, and then only he passed away from this world and he reached moksha, right?
Yes.
So that is the choice he had taken. Though he was in the arrow bed, it was pierced through his body, but still, he was going to he was going through this pain and everything, but still he wanted to recite 1,000 names of Lord Vishnu and then pass away from this world. So that is the bhava of a devotee, right? Sthita prajna, basically. Anything comes in life. Even he was in such painful situation, all he could think was about Lord Krishna. Nothing else could come to his mind. He was put in such a situation where he had to fight against Krishna, but he took that as his duty, which is his dharma, right? To fight against. Yeah, but still he did it. Even Arjuna had done it. Though Arjuna lamented in the war when the war began, when his son died, yeah, he lamented, but still he got back and he started fighting because it was Krishna's instruction. So yeah, yes, Mataji.
Thank you,
So
Mataji.
anyone? Yeah, no worries, Mataji. Yes, someone else.
First we started with 2 types of people we saw.
Yes,
who's
Mataji.
very intelligent and who's too materialistic, and what is the result of both of them. That we saw. And then the 70th verse we saw person who's not disturbed by the desires, because desires we all have, but we have to dovetail it. So how we
cannot be desireless, like how we can't be emotionless. Yeah, we can't be desireless. It's not possible. If, for example, Krishna desires us to read Bhagavad Gita, and that is what his desire is, right? He's like, all of you read Gita. That's the manual of our life. Like how every toy that a child assembles comes with an instruction booklet. Bhagavad Gita is similarly an instruction of how we have to lead our human lives. Yeah. So yes, Mataji, you can continue.
Yeah, and we saw the next 71st. We saw that those who can have real peace. That person who can attain real peace is who gives up all the desires for sense gratification, who lives free from desires and who's given up the sense of proprietorship and devoid of false ego.
Yes, the 4 aspects which Arjuna was instructed to do. Because he came under all the 4 categories, right? He was lamenting that, he is going to kill all of his, family, friends, relatives, and everyone. And second thing, he was like, is going to destroy the family traditions, and we can't perform the, ancestry things, and the women will be polluted. And the fourth thing, he was like, it is not my kingdom. So even if they come and kill me, it is fine. But as a Kshatriya, he was not supposed to do that. His right is to protect his people. So yes, Mata, you can continue. And the last one is?
And the last one, we saw that Prabhupada told that within a second we can attain the perfection of our life. You know that,
at the time of death.
Yes, Mataji.
time of death, we should remember Krishna ourselves so we can go back to God.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we saw example of Katvanga Maharaj, where within few minutes he attained the, just remembering Krishna.
Katvanga Maharaj, Ajamila. Just a
Yeah.
second.
Yamaduta.
Actually, Ajamila was less than even few seconds because Yamadutas had already come by then. They were dragging his soul.
And that
And
too, he was calling only his son.
yeah, and he was calling
Intention.
not from a bodily platform. He was calling from his deep soully platform because his soul was kind of coming out of his body. And in a split second, Vishnu Dutas will appear and he's like, no, you're not supposed to take him because he has taken our Hari's name. So, so that is the power of the name of the Lord. They say that the form of the Lord and the name of the Lord doesn't have any difference. That's why they say when we chant, we have to chant so attentively because it is basically seeing Krishna. There's also beautiful images where they say when we're chanting, Krishna is sitting next to us because we're taking his name, right? So we're actually calling on him directly. So basically, the whole Gita, the second chapter talks about a lot of things, yeah. But especially second chapter talks about two main important things. First thing is how a devotee or a Sthita Prajna person is, and how a materialistic person is. For example, materialistic person, we see that there are different processes of fall down, right? I think Bhumika Mataji would have explained in the previous classes. There are different types of fall down for this kind of devotees, and they are like even artificially way they're trying to like restrain themselves. Eventually they actually give it to Maya and they kind of get deviated and they go. The second thing is they never achieve real peace. You see, people, they're sometimes very happy and very sad, and then suddenly like they have this kind of mixed emotions. So all of this only happens to a person who is not self-realized. And the last thing is there's a huge difference between a yogi and a devotee, right? We see Durvasa, right? He's a yogi, whereas King Ambrisha is a devotee. So there's a huge difference, right? Can anyone say what is the big difference between Durvasa Muni and Ambrish Maharaj? We all know this Ekadasi story, I think, I personally. Durvasa Muni had come to Ambrish
Yes.
Maharaj, right?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah.
So
There
he
we
was
see, right?
about to complete his Dwadasi Parayan, but he came. Durvasa Munivar came, but he was so
He was
confused.
first.
Yeah, correct. See, it is like a face-to-face example itself. We can see Durvasa was, though he was a person who meditated for thousands and millions of years, and he had so much knowledge, but it was his anger which overtook him. Right? It's not like he was not scared of God or something, but he had this aham of saying like, oh, how dare he insults me. He took one drop of water to break his fast. Is it wrong? No, right? Amrisha Maharaj had to break the fast. Otherwise, the whole Ekadasi Vrata was going to waste. And he didn't just do it for himself. In olden days, if the kings didn't perform the Ekadasi Vrat fastly, the whole kingdom will be affected because of that. So he had to break the fast in the Paran time. So hence, in the suggestion of the other sages, he just took one drop of water. But Durvasa Muni was in such a state that he got so angry and he was like, how can you do this? You have invited me to the house and you've taken me in, and by the time I've gone and taken a bath and come here, you've already broken your fast without my presence. So this is a point where it shows as a self-real a person who's in Sita Pragna, Amrisha Maharaj, he'll be like, no, I will be calm, like no matter what happens, and the Sudarshana Chakra comes to his protection. So what we have to believe is if we are in Sthita Pragna, doesn't matter in what situation we are put, Lord will always follow us. Whereas the qualities of a person who is in Sthita Pragna stage is that they exhibit complete freedom. Even though life gives them the most best situations and the most horrible situations, they stay steady and they are free from all the three folds of miseries. What are the three folds of miseries?
Adi Bhautika, Adi
Adi
Daivika,
Daivika, Adhyatmika.
and Adi.
Adhyatmika.
Adhyatmika. What is the English meaning of them? Adi
Miseries
Bhautika,
miseries arising from natural calamities.
calamities, yeah.
Second is misery arising from your own body and mind.
Okay.
Third one is miseries from other living entities.
Other living entities, yeah. So what are we going through mostly?
All the three.
All the three, yeah.
We're going through all the three. So we're going natural
Yes, Mataji,
calamities.
all three, Mataji.
All
Yeah.
three, yeah. It is unavoidable, especially in this Kali Yuga. It is unavoidable. We are going through all the three, especially bodily things, yeah. We suffer from our own body by doing what? Like by eating tamasic food or by eating rajo food like we are troubling it in all the way, and we have all these like kind of health issues and everything, and then other living entities causing us. Even as devotees, we do so much of other aparad that come without knowing, unknowingly we do. But still, all of this kind of it affects us. Even our past karma also plays a part. Apart from these three full miseries, we also have a past karma which acts us. So we have so much of this thing. So the only way we can achieve the real peace is by desiring what Krishna desires. So that is the conclusion of this second chapter, the verses 69, 70, 71, and 72. I hope everyone understood. If
Hare
there are
Krishna,
any
Mataji.
doubts, Hare Krishna.
Mataji, they say Lord tests his devotees to honor them. So that's what Ambarish got it. He got it a great test by Lord. But Durvas, he was such a great sannyasi, says great muni, but even then he was he was given
He
to
was
test.
promised by Indra, right? So basically,
Yes,
Indra was
Mataji.
scared
Yes,
for his
Indra.
position after seeing
Yes.
Amrisha. It all
Yes.
starts with Indra always. He's always scared for his position.
Yes.
So
Yes.
he keeps sending
He's the-
someone.
Yes.
Yeah, and he keeps sending someone, and he keeps provoking that person. He did the same thing in Krishna book also, right? In
Almost
Govardhana.
in all stories we get Indra's name only, Mataji.
Yeah, correct. Even Govardhana Hill, he doubted Krishna and
Yes.
he did such a huge thing on him. So Indra is always like that. He's always scared for his position. See, that
Yes,
also
yes,
comes
yes.
under material platform, to be honest. Even Bali Maharaj, he takes Indradhipatyam, like after a
Out,
few
yes.
lives, like he will be ordered because he has the desire, right? So that desire, that's why they say pure devotees don't have such kind of desire. We don't desire for Brahma Jyoti, right? We desire to either go to Goloka Vrindavan or to be born as a devotee again. These are the two common types of desires. And
Like
most of the
our
devotees are
politicians,
desireless.
Mataji. Like our politicians, Indra was also fond of
Scared for his
chair.
throne. Yeah, so when Bali Maharaj took, even Bali Maharaj indirectly, okay, even though he wanted to satisfy his ego, okay, he still took up the Indradhipatyam, right? So hence in the other life, Lord Vishnu had granted him the wish, he gave him Indradhipatyam. But still, that is still a material desire. Because even that, all the, they say, Dehinosmin Yata Dehi, all the planets from the Brahma Loka to down the Patala Loka, all are places of misery. The only way we can come out of this is to actually go to Goloka Vrindavan, that is attaining salvation, attaining moksha, which is not Brahma Jyoti. Brahma Jyoti is where all we see most of the demons go to Brahma Jyoti, or impersonalists go to Brahma Jyoti because they worship the impersonal form of the Lord.
So we should accept all the difficulties what we get as a Lord's mercy and blessings, Mataji.
Yeah,
Is it not?
it's basically Krishna clearing out our karma.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, so we have to take it in that way, Mataji. That's the way, and we have to take everything like Siddha Pragna, Siddha, just like okay, it's fine, it comes. Yeah,
But
we
let
have
whatever.
yeah.
Yes.
We have to calm. I mean, it takes time. I mean, like some people take the whole life. Even Srila Prabhupada, okay, he had come, to this place when he was in 69 years old, right? So it is never
Yes,
too old.
Mataji.
We can start at any point in our life and we can still achieve, and he has set us such a great example. Leave about like all the stories from our Puranas. Even he himself in this yuga, he has shown us this. So it is not impossible, and all our gurus also strive to show the same thing. The age is just a number. Anyone can come into Krishna consciousness and achieve Krishna. So
Lord
Krishna
says, if
is
you come
most
one step
merciful.
towards me, I will become
take-
100 steps towards you.
Yeah,
So
exactly. So we
have to
need
keep our
Radha
first-
Rani's mercy actually.
Mataji, yes.
Radha Rani's mercy follows automatically. Wherever Radha Rani is, Krishna is. Wherever Krishna is, Radha Rani is. So that
Yes, Mataji.
is the reciprocation. Yeah, Mataji.
Yes. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Any doubts for anyone? I hope the session was good. I'm sorry it's my first time, so.
The session was very nice, Mataji.
Very nice.
Thank
Thank you very
Really
much.
surprised to see you. First time when I logged in, I was surprised.
Yeah,
Then the
Mataji.
session was very wonderful, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you,
Thank
Mataji.
you, Mataji, Prabhuji. I
Session
hope.
was very good, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. I'll be
For
seeing you one
clearing
more
all our
Saturday.
doubts, Mataji. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Hari
Mataji. Any doubts also, you can always put it in the group. I'll try my level best to answer them.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mother. We'll just tell the ending prayers in the
Krishna.
session.
Yes, Mataji.
Pancha kalpatarupyasya kripa sindhubhya
Kripa
eva
sindhubhya
jagati
eva ja,
pavanebhyo
patitanam
vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta koti Vaishnavinda ki
Vaishnavindaki
jai.
jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai.
Jai.
All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna
Hare
Prabhuji. Thank you so
Krishna.
much.
Thank
Hare
you,
Krishna.
Mataji. Pranams. Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Pranams. Hare